risk management and business continuity. And we're looking at the GCCs at the forefront of global agility. So we have our two speakers, our speaker and the moderator will be joining us right on stage right away. And let's get that stage in quick makeover. And this will be a conversation in the next 10 minutes. Let's hear from them. Let's get to understand their perspective on the topic of the whole risk management and business continuity of the GCC. So with that, let me go ahead and invite the speaker on stage. We have, ladies and gentlemen, the GBS operations lead from Uber. We have Sucharita Thakur. Could we have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? And to moderate this discussion, we have Vishal Jain, partner, Deloitte India.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So this is not Instagram, not YouTube short, but still a coffee type of a discussion of 10 minutes. Let us see what best we can give to this subject, but this subject requires much more, and that is where we are leaving you with that, hopefully. So if I ask all of you, all of us have the smartphone. Is there someone who is ready to give up your smartphone right away? No one. Great. So I have one person, I'll not name him, everybody will after him after that. So I can see one hand raised that he is not bothered if the phone is given. The reason I'm asking this is, see, we have to listen to music, you have a power home theaters, for TV at home, you have writing pads, you have laptops. Now everything has come to this one smartphone, which means that this has become very critical. At the same time, it has all the reach out in the virtual world. I mean, it's a very strange analogy, but this is what I believe that the GCCs have in the situation. They are very critical, centralized. At the same time, they have all the functions, all the supports to outside world sitting at one place in one location. Now that forms the entire criticality of these centers which we have at various locations, which is something very critical. And when you talk about the criticality, automatically the availability and taking care of the risk aspect becomes utmost criticality. Now, if I take an example use case, and I have Suchi here with me. See, from a real life example, I mean, Suchi from Uber, and everybody has a Uber app and we use that. So first of all, it's a real life, real time type of a service which you are availing from the app. The critical function which is managed from here is the finance and accounts, which is also critical to any enterprise. So that it serves criticality for the 70 plus country which they are providing. So you can imagine the complexity, and then it is not just provided within the team here, but then they have their third parties who will also be taken. So Suchi, with that complexity of setup, where it's a service which is very close and an everyday type, the complexity of the centralized FNA, which is the most essential function, and then you have your partners with you. So when this type of a situation comes, and I'm giving an example of becomes very critical from that aspect, what do you think are the risks which you set up or you face? And I believe the arrangement is quite complex. It's not a very standard GCC, right?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Vishal. Good afternoon, everybody. I just want to say that Uber is a teenage company. We're just 16 years old, dealing with about 36 million transactions or rides or deliveries, in a day, right? That is to tell you that go easy on us. But anyway, Vishal, coming to your question, operating Uber, FNA, functions at the scale and speed at which Uber operates definitely has a multifaceted risk component to it, right? I'd break it down in 3 buckets. One is primarily operational and talent risk. What I mean by this is the biggest challenge for a GCC hub in India is war of talent. I know in the past sessions we've heard people say it's war of talent is probably not there, and we got some stats, but on the ground it is still there. We not only want to hire competing accountants, right? We want a complete finance professional who is great in data analytics, who's great in automation, and they can do anything under the sun, right? So basically also specialists in ERP modules. So with that kind of a talent, there is a risk of the talent, I would say. So that is one thing I would say on operations and talent. The other one is compliance. So being a publicly owned company, Um, SOX compliance is non-negotiable, right? And we at GBS, I mean, we have to ensure that your ICOFR, which is your internal controls over financial reporting, they are robust, being managed across the countries, and then local nuances as well added. And with the number that I just told you, the number of transactions that we deal with, fraud becomes a big risk for us, right? External phishing attacks, internal fraudulent activities, all this is a big risk for us from a compliance perspective. Finally, wearing the hat of a GBS lead, right? I would say there are strategic and financial risks as well. Cost optimization being the big one. If you over optimize without, or rather, if you over optimize and do cost cuttings aggressively, you then have a problem. If you're not able to re-engineer your processes, then it leads to failures, control breakdowns, etc. And then there is a risk from that perspective.
So do you manage the risk, or do you have a separate function, or it is?
So the overarching risk management framework is given by the parent company, right?
Okay.
However, we have local champions who run that. The execution or the operations
Because you
part
also
of
have
that,
partners who are part of your operation, so then complexity increases there, right?
yeah, so that's something that I want to explain. Our GBS setup is slightly different. This is GCC, I know, but for us, we started off with a 100% outsourcing model. So all our finance and accounting scope is 100% outsourced. We have a few vendor partners that we work with, and I think that's the question Vishal is leaning on. We not only have our Uber framework, but we also encourage our vendor partners to give the best of what they have to us. So that way we are, slowly de-risking ourselves.
No, I'm sure it's a very critical function, and you must be doing that good job there. If I now shifted to the continuity and the availability part of it, now let me divide it, saying that you are concentrated in one location and the centralized function and catering to the entire staff. Do you see concentration as a risk, and how do you manage that?
Yeah, if you ask me, concentration risk is a strategic risk that all of us have to deal with. The mitigation strategy at Uber is geographic diversification. So if I have to give you an example of how we are set up, we have multi-location strategy, number one. Then I just mentioned that we have outsourced the entire work. So we have 2-3 vendors that we work with. So there is always load leveling that happens, right? And we want to do. And the third one is within India, we have multiple cities. And outside India, also we have 2-3 countries that we operate out of. So from the scale perspective, we have ensured that we are.
So the concentration has been taken care at different tier levels because of all that. No, that's very good. Now, let me just touch upon one more topic, which I think everybody is hearing and everybody is going through, is the AI, artificial intelligence. And koi bhi discussion bina AI ke ho nahi sakta. So let me also use that. If I talk about AI, do you see that as a risk? Sorry, it's a very direct question. You can choose to reply in the way you want to. But when I say, do you see AI as a risk, how are you leveraging that, to your benefit, rather than, because people generally have, when you are people friendly, they say, okay, naukri chali aayegi, reduction in workforce. That's the buzzword and the rumor or myth, I would say, because I don't believe in that statement. I just want to hear from you.
I'll answer that question in 2 bits, right? Is AI a risk? I think we are still in the initial phases. Multiple questions, multiple concerns over how this will eventually turn out to be. But from an Uber standpoint, if I take GBS or a GCC setup out, as an Uber employee, we are given access to all the latest and greatest in the AI, the tools that we currently have, and we are encouraged to use them, get use cases, especially on the finance side, etc. Right? And say, so for us right now, I think it's not a risk because you're getting a lot of exposure, right? I am getting a lot of exposure to play around with those tools, to de-risk things, work with our technology teams, to work on use cases, etc. The same we are driving with our vendor partners. So we are also encouraging them to leverage these tools to enable their work. Okay,
this is so very, very good to hear, and I deliberately wanted to touch on this topic because AI can be leveraged not only from the operation point of view, but also from the risk management point of view. Maybe some other 10 minutes we can discuss on how AI can be leveraged in the risk management aspect. But just last 30 seconds, and I know the bell will ring. Is you want to give any overall your sharing of risk mitigation strategies which you believe can be everybody can leverage upon broadly?
Okay. As I said, we are, I think, the youngest to get into this GBS GCC forum. When we started in 2017, this was done through reaching out to the big service providers in India to come up with a strategy. Okay, that also was outsourced. You think for us and tell us what are we supposed to do, and they came up with a model that you should go with outsourcing. Right now, if you ask me the way we are set up, we deal with different things. For example, we have a big offshore presence in India in finance. We have the very big GBS outsourced model presence in finance in India, and we also have a center of excellence in tax. So we are operating in all models. I would say it comes with its own pros and cons in terms of risk and business continuity. But what I wanted to tell you was overall, there are three things that we primarily drive, right? One is what is the core purpose of a GCC GBS setup to ensure that your operations are running smoothly, right? So everything under operations, which is continuous improvements or leading to transformation, you're taking care of that. With a model where we work with our vendor partners, we are working on elevating their performance, getting the best of what they have that they do with other business their clients that they have, best in class, best practices, benchmarking. All of this is something that we try and get. And finally, by attending events like this, summits like this, talking to the big fours like yourself and everybody else, we continuously get what is the best in the market and try to get that back and into our system. So that's how we are leveraging. So there is no gyan for you guys here, but just telling you how Uber operates at this point.
No, thank you so much. And I think time's up. And before we can hear the music from there, thank you so much for your sharing very candidly, openly, and all the aspect. I know it's a very short discussion for a subject like this, but definitely it's food for thought, which we thought of leaving to all of you to just deep dive into this subject of risk management and business continuity, which is very critical. Coming back that when you are the centralized hub providing services to all your global parent company, it becomes very critical. Thank you so much. Thanks, Suchi.
Thank you, Vishal, and thank you, ET Edge, for the opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you.